You got to be in that place of humility before God and be faithful. By our faith, we know we're justified, right? Hebrews 11, people are justified by faith. But our faith is how we're going to be justified. Not your talents, not anything else, but by you hearing and following through what God is asking you to do. Hey, you fall down, you fall down. You fall on your face, you fall on your face. You get right back up and say, I'm going to keep on seeking God. I'm going to keep on seeking God. I'm going to keep on seeking God. You're not going to do it perfect. I didn't do it perfect. I still don't do it perfect. But keep asking. Lord, what is it next? Lord, what is it next? Lord, how do you want me to speak? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? No, I'm going to close up. You know, David, the scrawny shepherd boy, didn't seem to think he had much going for him. And he saw the giants who was making a mockery of God's people. And something erupted inside of him. I'm sure his prayer went something like that. Lord, someone's got to do something about it. Look at all these guys on front lines. I guess that somebody's going to be me. I guess that somebody's going to be me. And he dared to trust God. He dared to step out there on that battlefield against all odds. He should have been taken down. But he had confidence in his, not himself, by spending time with God, that his Lord was going to be with him. Don't keep these mentors waiting. They're all waiting for you in all these pages right now. Just waiting for you to read about their stories so God can, Spirit can get inside of you to see how it was done, to see what not to do. Guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. The choices we make regarding the foundations on which we build our lives are going to have eternal implications that will go far beyond our lifespans. The legacy that we leave to our children, to our families. Will we choose to spend a quiet time with our Lord, or will we allow the life's pressures to work us into a frenzy and crush our root system? Will we build a sacred enclosure around our roots, or will we allow the foot traffic of life just take us down, erode our spiritual roots that God had begun to grow out of that seed that he planted, he put inside of us, inside of our lives? You know, I don't think it's ever, I don't know, I didn't live in the past, but I do know this. If there ever was such a time to be filled with God's grace, with his mercy, with his love, spending time with him. If there's ever such a time to be able to take that and go into a world right now that is so lost, that is so off track, that is so desperate. The faces we saw yesterday were so desperate. For something real. As we begin to tell those stories, as I know at least two people, as we begin to tell the story about Teen Challenge, about an individual, we put a testimony on the back of the bulletins we gave out, and said, you know what, do you know anybody? You know anybody struggling? Two people had people die within their family within the last 2 weeks from overdose. If there ever were such a time to spend our time wisely, to be all that we can be, that God has called us to be, in a world that's getting so frantic with madness, and the demands seemingly only are increasing with all the technology, our lives are supposed to be easier. We have to be a people who will choose to be still before God and sit at his feet. I want to encourage you. You might know the best time. But I want to encourage you to take that time. If you don't have a devotion, if you don't have a deliberate Bible reading, talk to me after. I'd love to help hook you up with the YouVersion that I use. That'll keep you on track. If I miss a day, I'll say, hey, Mark, you know, you missed it. But something to keep you on track. It helps me in the busyness of life. So why? To listen to his comforting voice, so it would receive that good portion that Jesus called essential. Worship team, could you come up?